Case study, fraudulent paprika. Can paprika and chili powder be too red? In 2016, an inspector from the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets visited a food market looking for suspicious spices. There had been a spate of adulteration incidents with paprika and related spices such as chili powder and curry powder internationally, and the New York authorities were surveying local supplies. The inspector was Thomas Tarantelli, now retired. He recently sent me an intriguing photograph of some samples he purchased that day. In one store, Tarantelli had noticed some packages of paprika that looked too red. This was perhaps a sign the paprika had been adulterated with unauthorized colorants. He purchased the paprika and took it back to the lab for testing. It was indeed adulterated. He told me we found 2,400 ppm of Sudan 4 and 850 ppm of Sudan 1 in that product. It was one of the highest concentrations of Sudan 4 ever found, as high as the worst European case reported that had been reported up to that time. That was in 2016, 8 years ago. Today, the samples Tarantelli purchased and analysed are still a brightly hued, fresh-looking red colour. The photograph that I've included in the email and the post was taken just a few months ago, more than 7 years after the samples were purchased. The colour is bright red. Pure paprika, on the other hand, loses its reddish colour over time and ages to a dull brownish colour. This is the challenge for spice traders. Old paprika doesn't have an attractive colour. Dull-coloured paprika is perceived to be of lower quality and to have less flavour, and therefore must be sold for a lower price. One solution is for traders to add colouring agents to their wares. Since pure spices aren't allowed to contain even food-grade colours, the traders don't bother to use colorants that are safe or legal. Instead, they use colours that are cheap, easy to obtain, and easy to handle. Sudan dyes seem to be popular with unethical spice traders who want to enhance the colour of the spices they sell. The dyes are industrial colouring agents, much cheaper than food-grade colours, and sold for use in industrial oils, waxes and shoe polish. Sudan 1 has an orange colour and Sudan 4 is a bluish red. Sudan dyes have been found in paprika, chili powder and curry powder many times over the past decade. They're also a common adulterant in unrefined palm oil, which has a bright red colour when fresh. Sudan dye adulteration was first detected in food in 2003 and was the cause of a huge recall in the United Kingdom in 2005, which affected 570 foods. Alerts and notifications for Sudan dye contamination continue to this day. Last month, Italian authorities rejected palm oil from Ivory Coast because it contained Sudan 3 and Sudan 4 dyes, and German authorities recalled cheddar cheese powder from Syria, which contained multiple Sudan dyes. There were 39 notifications for Sudan dyes in foods between 2014 and 2024 in the European Rapid Alert System for Food and Feed, and 12 in the US FDA Import Alerts records. Many of the alerts are for adulterated palm oil, but in Europe, paprika seasoning and spice blends, barbecue rub, chili pepper, sumac, and sweet and sour sauce were also affected. In America, barbecue-flavoured snacks were affected in addition to palm oil. This incident in 2016 wasn't the only time Tarantelli and his colleagues found Sudan dyes in spices. In fact, they found 16 commercially available spices containing such dyes in less than 2 years. The spices included turmeric, curry powder, malathi, and chili powder in addition to paprika. And in the email and the post, there is a table that lists all 16 of the spice types, the amount of Sudan 1 and Sudan 4 that were found in them, and the additional dyes that were found as well, including metonyl yellow and orange 2 and acid black 1. The New York State inspectors reported their results to the US FDA, prompting a series of recalls. Unfortunately, the recalls were classed as less serious Class 2 recalls because of the assumption that spices like paprika are consumed in only small quantities. However, as Tarantelli pointed out in an article he wrote about the issue for food safety tech in 2017, assumptions about serving sizes can be wrong. In fact, when he compared the amount of spice consumed by some ethnic groups to the reference serving size used by the FDA, they were 20 times higher. And I'm quoting here from Tarantelli's article in Food Safety Tech. In the Code of Federal Regulations, CFR Title 21, the serving size per meal for spice is referenced as 0.5 gram. However, certain ethnic groups may consume a daily amount of 20 grams of spice per person. Takeaways for food safety professionals. Foods that appear fresher, tastier, or of better quality when their colour is more intense are vulnerable to adulteration with undeclared colorants. Red-coloured foods such as paprika, chili powder, and palm kernel oil are sometimes adulterated with Sudan dyes to enhance their colour and increase their apparent value. Sudan dyes are not approved for use in food. They're industrial dyes with carcinogenic properties. Despite a long history of recalls, safety alerts, and import alerts for Sudan dye adulteration, food fraud perpetrators continue to adulterate foods with this dangerous group of chemicals. Although some food regulators consider adulterated spices to present a lower risk to consumers than other foods because many people consume them in small amounts, some sectors of the population consume significant quantities of spices and are therefore at higher risk. Food businesses that purchase red-coloured foods, including spices and unrefined palm oil, should consider such foods vulnerable to Sudan dye adulteration and implement mitigations. And the main sources for this article are Castell et al. 2024 and Tarantelli 2017. And of course, you can find links to those sources in the email and the post. Oh, and by the way, did you know there are protected origin paprikas in Europe, more correctly known as protected designation of origin or PDOs. These protected paprikas are from different regions and are known for their unique regional characteristics. For example, there's a special paprika from a certain part of Spain called Pimentón de la Vera, and one from Hungary called Colucca Fuse Paprika Orlemeni. And again, the source for that information is also in the email and the post, as always. So if you're loving this podcast and the newsletter that goes with it, do consider showing your support with a 1-month paid subscription. It's just $10 per month and you can cancel anytime.